Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, that's Connor, and this is your weekly TV news. Slightly early, we're a day early this week because Connor is going to be busy at the weekend, so we have to get this in just a little bit earlier than usual. It does mean that if any big news drops on Friday, it'll just be part of next week's show, if I remember to put it in.
Yeah, you have been known to forget these things from time to time.
Alright, so there's quite a bit this week, new shows to talk about. There's also quite a bit of various other bits and bobs. First things first, Marvel's The Defenders, which is coming next year. They confirmed a whole bunch of returning characters. Now, obviously, the main four are obvious. We're always going to have them because that's who the
Wouldn't be
Defenders
much of a
are.
show without them, would it?
Yeah, but they confirmed a bunch of supporting characters that are coming back for the Defenders, which they also confirmed officially is 8 episodes instead of 13. So that should be good. Because I think we were of the opinion that all of them could have done with at least having a couple of episodes trimmed. So this being
Most of them feel like 10 would have been better than the 13.
yeah, so this being a tighter 8 episodes, more of an event, is a pretty good idea, and it also makes me think that we're definitely getting 3 shows next year because they're already shooting Punisher,
That's true.
and Defenders. I'm pretty sure will be the first one after Iron Fist,
Yeah,
which they're also shooting as well. It's not like they're not shooting this yet either. They are shooting this because there
yeah.
was set photos popped up this week as well. So yeah, so the returning cast members are characters. Foggy's coming back, as you'd expect. Also, Malcolm from Jessica Jones is coming back, as is Jerry Hogarth from Jessica Jones. She's also in Iron Fist as well, actually. So she's popping back up. Also, Claire, as you'd expect, since she's been in almost all of them so far. Trish Walker's coming back. And unfortunately for us, because we didn't like him very much, Stick is coming back as well from Daredevil.
I liked him in season 1.
I didn't. Even his one episode in season 1 I thought was the weakest episode of that season.
But yeah, see, I quite liked him in that season. And then season 2, and it's just like, ugh.
Yeah. Rest of them, though, are fairly good news.
Yeah.
It's nice to see that pretty much all of the major supporting characters from all the other shows are all popping up.
Probably a little bit more than I expected. I don't know. I expected it to be such an event thing that maybe we wouldn't have everyone supporting cast.
I kind of like it because I feel like the Avengers kind of dodged it for the most part, other than one or two. Whereas,
Oh no, I think it's a good thing.
yeah,
It surprises me.
I guess that they're not as big in terms of star power, so it's easier to do with the TV stuff.
That is true.
So, no, it's good news. So we're expecting that middle of next year, give or take. So let's move on to some other stuff. NBC has ordered more episodes of Timeless, bringing its first season to 16 episodes, which is interesting. It's interesting for a couple of reasons, because they also mentioned that it'll be replaced on February 27th with Taken, which obviously is the adaptation of the Liam Neeson movie. NBC are doing a TV show of that, so look forward to the
The
pilot review of that.
the sort of prequel but sort of reboot thing.
I do not remember enough about it to say yes to that sentence. I'll take your word for it.
I'm pretty sure it was.
I'll take your word for it. But I think this is interesting. I think we keep seeing more and more of this. We keep seeing more of network TV being okay with the idea that it doesn't have to be 22 episodes, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's cancelled either. Because there was a time where if they didn't get 22 episodes or more, it probably meant it wasn't coming back.
Yeah, it was not good.
Whereas
I think.
that specifically is kind of a weird thing because it's like it's getting a few more episodes, but not the whole thing.
I wonder if it's just the fact that everyone's making so many more shows now, and they're trying to fit them into the schedule. It's like they'd rather have 2 shorter shows than 1 longer show.
Yeah, it certainly seems to be going that way. I think part of that is maybe just them trying to see which one's more successful. Because the idea being, that, alright, we'll leave the door open for Timeless for season 2 next year, but if Taken is a huge hit and they just want to have that all season, then Timeless
Yeah,
may get cancelled.
if it really takes off, then it could be
That wasn't
worrying.
that wasn't even a good bad pun, Connor.
I know.
That
I know.
was barely reaching for
I'll
a
be
bad
honest.
pun.
I've been reading too many awful puns today because they've been popping up, and It's on the brain.
Nah, see, that was that was garbage.
It was.
Full on garbage. So we'll have Timeless up until the end of February then. So
That's only an extra 3, right?
yeah, 3 extra,
Yeah, I thought so.
which is interesting. It's a bit weird.
I'm almost surprised they didn't just leave it at the 13 and, spread it out a little bit.
Yeah, but they went for 16. Apparently, one of the reasons they said it might be to 16 instead of 22 is because it is much more expensive to make this show because of all the time travel and different time periods. There's like, all right, well now we'll just do 16.
That's a fair reason, because I'd rather than have it less and it look good.
Yeah. So we'll see how the season pans out. We're 5 episodes in. We're still reviewing that, so check out the reviews every week, but not next week because it's taking a week off because network TV does that. Sticking with NBC, do you remember that they were working on a Cruel Intentions TV show?
I do. I was sort of excited.
Oh, you were? Oh, well, in that case, I am delighted to tell you that it's dead.
I knew you were going to say that. As soon as I said that, I was like, you're going to crush me right now.
They've decided not to go ahead with it. And this kind of links into one of the things that you just said, actually, in the previous news story, is that one of the reasons cited for it is that NBC have so many shows already starting mid-season that they just don't have room for it. They considered putting it in summer 2017, but again, they have so many like reality shows that they put on in the summer that they just didn't have room for it. Now, Sony, who are the one making it, are apparently shopping it around to see if they can get it going.
So it's not completely dead.
It's dead at NBC. It could find life elsewhere.
That's fine. I can deal with that. Still hope.
It is slightly surprising though, because they actually extended the contracts of all the actors because, they didn't pick it up for the start of the season. And obviously the actors have this sort of clause where if it gets past a certain date, they're free to go and pursue other work. But NBC actually paid all the actors more. They extended the contracts up to a further date, so they had more time to decide. So it is actually kind of weird that they've decided not to go ahead. So they've obviously really weighed their options here.
Yeah, they must really not feel like it's worth it at that point.
Yeah, they also said something along the lines of they couldn't find the right slot for it, and I'm wondering if it's maybe just too raunchy for NBC.
Could be. Could really be. Yeah. It's the sort of thing where I think we questioned this at the time when they announced it. We were like, really, NBC?
Yeah. But hey, that's what they've come to. So if you're looking forward to that, apologies, but you might get it elsewhere if you're lucky.
Come on.
I really forgot that you were this invested in Cruel Intentions.
So did I. Do you know? So did I. I remember being really excited when it was announced. I was like, "Yeah, I'm down for this," and then I kind of forgot about it because no one mentioned it for 4 months.
I know what news will cheer you up, Connor.
Oh, go on.
Nice cheery news. Something to lift our spirits here. Arrow.
Oh, I'm excited.
Arrow has cast Talia Al Ghul.
I should care, but I don't.
Talia Al Ghul, of course, is the famous daughter of Ra's al Ghul that everyone knows. Probably the mainstream audience know her more from just the Nolan Batman movies. Comic fans know Talia quite well. She was in the video games. She was in Arkham City, if you play those. In fact, Nyssa is so unknown that even us, as comic book fans, when they revealed Nyssa was on the show, Arrow, we both went, huh?
Yeah. Is that because they built up, they said Raz's daughter. We're like, we're getting Talia. Yeah. And I was like, no, let's not do that.
No, we're getting Nyssa. And we're like, who's Nyssa? Who wasn't made up. She has been in the comics, but like really obscure compared to Talia. Really obscure.
Yeah.
So we're getting Talia on Arrow, which I guess I shouldn't make this complaint about since we've already had Raz and Nyssa and the League of Assassins. But again, it's one more thing that's like, here, this is a Batman thing, but we're going to have it on Arrow.
Didn't we have Talia in Legends as a kid?
As a kid, yeah. She was there as a young girl.
What time period was that? Because I thought it was like quite a while back for some reason.
It was like the 70s, I want to say.
Right, okay.
Which would, to be fair, put her around the 50-year-old mark, which I'm fairly certain this actress is not. I mean, she's not too young because she was like a TV star back in the early 2000s. So she has to at least be in her sort of late 30s by now. But yeah, Alexa Doig, I think that's how you pronounce her name. I actually know her from Jason X, of all things, which was the 10th Friday the 13th movie. She was in that, but she was known for Stargate SG-1 and Continuum, and even the V reboot.
She's 43.
She's 43. So it's still a bit young, though.
No, a little bit young, but not massively.
Yeah. But it's funny, because I must be one of the only people who's seen that name and went, oh, aye, from Jason X.
No, yeah, you're probably the only person who said that.
I'm not the only person who thought that. Come on. Other people are Jason X fans, and they said, oh, that's her.
I'm sure there are other people that are Jason X fans. But how many of those intersect with people who watch Arrow?
More than one. Has to be more than one.
I don't know. I feel like if this was a Venn diagram, there'd be Jason X fans, people who watch Arrow, and then the overlap would just be you.
Hey, that's a strong...
That is a Venn diagram, right? That's the one.
It's more of a covalent bond more than anything else, is what you just described to me. And I'm the shared thing in the middle.
Yeah, but that's how a Venn diagram is. You know, the ones that it's all the circles and they overlap.
Sure.
Do you not know what I'm on about?
I don't know. I never did statistics in school, so...
Oh, Jesus, what do they teach you up in Scotland?
I don't know. I'll remember it anyway. Do you know how much stuff from math has just out of my head? Come on.
Yeah, that's fair. And I can't believe I'm lecturing you on maths here.
I know, you're the one who always gets sums wrong.
Aye.
Hand me a bit of trigonometry and I'm pretty sure I will fail at it miserably, so you know.
To be fair, I will be in that boat with you.
But yeah, so we're getting Talia, and she will first appear in the 10th episode of this season of Arrow, and she will be reoccurring. So we'll see her at least a few times.
Great.
Alright, next up, we got our first look this week at Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events, which is coming from Netflix. There is a short trailer. I never made Connor go and watch it.
I didn't even know it was. I didn't know this was a.
You didn't know
thing.
this was a thing, did
well,
you?
I knew the show was a thing, but I didn't know there was a trailer. I didn't know there was stuff to look at.
Do you know who's playing? What's his name? Count Orloff? Was it Orloff? Was it Orlok? It's Orloff.
Olaf. Yeah.
Olaf. There
Well,
you go.
I remember. I don't even know if it ever got confirmed. Was it Neil Patrick Harris?
It is Neil Patrick Harris. It's definitely him because he's in the trailer. So
yeah,
I can confirm.
See, this is like it's like a vague awareness. I remember he was rumored for ages, but I don't remember ever seeing it actually being confirmed as him.
Well, it's 8 episodes long, so it's Stranger Things length. And although I don't know if it's 40-minute episodes, if it's 20-minute episodes. I'm going to assume 40 minutes until told otherwise.
I'd assume 40, yeah.
And it's launching on January 13th.
Oh, okay. Just before everything else, then.
Which is actually, it's perfect for us actually, because it's a week where literally almost nothing else will be on. So we'll definitely check out the first episode.
I don't know about you. I read all the books. I was quite a fan.
I had never heard of the books until the movie came out, but I did quite enjoy the movie. So,
okay.
Take that for what it's worth.
I thought the movie was all right, but I'm hoping this could be better.
Yeah, it looked okay. Looked fine. I think Neil Patrick Harris is probably a really good choice for that role.
I'm gonna have to go and watch this trailer now. I kind of wish you'd told me beforehand so I could actually comment on it.
I may have forgot to mention it, okay?
I'm sure I even asked, is there anything I need to watch?
No, you didn't. Like, You didn't. Had you asked, I would have remembered.
In that case, I thought about asking it. I thought, and then just actually forgot to say the words out loud. It just kind of went through my head instead. Because I distinctly remember thinking it. Damn.
Oh well. Do you want to go on to some new shows then?
I suppose.
Now, unfortunately, there's no Untitled ones this week for us to play the game with, but there are some interesting things that I'm actually kind of excited about, at least this first one. So NBC is developing a comedy from Mike Schur and Matt Hubbard. Do you know who they are?
I know Mike Schur very well.
Well,
Matt Hubbard.
Both of them were behind Parks and Recreation.
I didn't realise that Hubbard was Parks and Rec as well.
Yeah. So it's called Action Land, and it is a comedy. It is also a workplace comedy, much like Parks and Rec. I don't know if it's going to have the fake interviews or anything like that, but it's a workplace comedy that it is set at an amusement park in Arizona.
I'm down.
I'm actually really down for this because it's simple, which comedy like concepts probably should be. At least most of the best comedies have simple concepts. But I actually really like that it's a workplace comedy because I know these guys do that well. But the workplace itself is actually kind of unique and interesting. Like, think of another one that's set at an amusement park. You can't.
It is funny because Sure has gone from, The Office, which is literally like the most typical workplace thing you could get, to now this. So it's kind of just slowly getting out there.
Yeah. But even Parks and Rec still a pretty simple office style.
It was, yeah. But it's a little bit more unconventional than, like, The Office.
Sure.
Yeah, it's getting there. I'm excited for this, I think.
Oh, this is cool. That's pretty much the entire description. I think that's all you need. I'm cool for it. Also at NBC, Tina Fey's developing a comedy. Single camera again. It's called The Sackett Sisters, and it's got a put pilot commitment. It is got a Brooklyn Nine-Nine writer, executive producer on board. And it's the Sackett Sisters. It's about two estranged sisters who perform a silly Sullenberger-esque act of public heroism, and then are forced to navigate the newfound notoriety. I need to say that really slow to say it properly. I can't do that fast. Notoriety.
Oh, it wasn't bad.
Notoriety.
It's starting to sound like it's not a word anymore, so let's just move on to the rest of the sentence, please.
There's only one more word. Then they are forced to navigate their newfound notoriety together.
I like Tina Fey, so...
I like her. I don't necessarily really like all of her shows.
I like what I've seen.
So... I am less excited about this than I am Actionland, but potential, sure. Give it a try.
I mean it's probably not quite as high, but I don't think I've seen anything of hers that I haven't enjoyed. So
I wouldn't say I've seen anything of hers that I didn't enjoy, but I wouldn't have seen it. Like, they've all been kind of lukewarm. Kind of like this.
I don't know. I really like 30 Rock.
I gave up in season 3. And Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt's like, yeah, it's got its moments, but
I definitely like that more than you do as well.
You definitely do. Alright, let's go over to ABC for a pilot order they're giving for Lakeside VA, which is actually a comedy coming from Jim Parsons, of all people. He's producing it. Of course, he's Sheldon on The Big Bang Theory, in case you're wondering who that is. So he's producing. Lakeside VA follows a C-plus team of VA hospital employees who are underfunded, understaffed, and stopped overworking themselves to make up for it years ago, until a new hotshot female chief of surgery steps in to turn them into an A-team. Not the A-team, just...
That would have been way better.
It would have been way better.
I mean, that said, it doesn't sound bad.
Yeah, it sounds like, again, simple premise. It's a hospital setting, workplace setting. It just happens to be a hospital for, veterans. I can see that being a big source of humour. I can see some of the old guys they have coming in being really funny. Maybe.
I think this could actually be pretty good.
And ABC is not an instant cesspool like CBS is for comedy, so...
Aye, exactly.
So there's a chance. There's a chance that this will be worth something. Alright, let's go over to the CW for a drama called Marlowe. Now, it's not based on the Raymond Chandler character, Philip Marlowe, who's apparently a character in fiction. I wasn't familiar with him, but you might be mistaken for thinking that's about him. It's actually based on a real-life African-American private investigator who is a Jamaican immigrant and a World War I vet. Marlowe is a character-based procedural with a modern feel and a contemporary soundtrack that follows Samuel Marlowe from the mansions of the red carpets of Beverly Hills to the jazz clubs and back alleys of Little Harlem, where he navigates crimes, mysteries, and social issues ripped from today's headlines through the prism of 1937 Los Angeles.
I don't immediately hate this.
Honestly, the only word I don't like in all of that is
It's
procedural.
procedural, yeah.
Yeah. That is the one word I really don't like. The rest of it, the idea of him being a PI in 1937 and, his race is going to come into this. Like, a black PI in 1937, that is going to be an issue. But the idea of it being set in the 30s, I'm getting like a noir kind of vibe.
So I was thinking, I'm sorry, I've been hearing that slipping for about a minute, and I was trying to figure out what the sound was. If you noticed me looking around then, and then I've just figured it out.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. So posters are falling down. This is a shambles. This is a proper shambles. So yeah, no, I'm potential. I think there's some potential here.
I like the ideas. I mean, the modern soundtrack in the 30s can work really well as an idea if it's executed properly, or it could come off really cheesy, which is a concern.
It's funny though, because like this is a CW show that's going to be set in 1937 Los Angeles. This is kind of different for them.
That's a few times we've said that about their stuff recently.
There was that World War One set, but we weren't sure if it was still set there though. It sounded like it could have been like contemporary.
I'm sure there was one after that where I said this as well, and then you said the same thing then.
Connor does not know how to put up posters. Confirmed.
That has been up for months with no problem. I've not touched that in like 3 months, and all of a sudden, just gone.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next show. Interestingly, we're still at CW, and once again, we're actually focusing on a black-centric drama. This is coming from director John Singleton. He's developing a drama at CW that mixes faith-based storytelling with hip-hop. It's called... You're going to like this. It's called Straight Outta Heaven.
I do quite like that, I'm not going to lie.
And it revolves around a hip-hop star who dies but comes back to life as a guardian angel.
Okay, I'm in. Up until that line, I was a little like, how am I feeling about this? And then you told me it's about a ghost.
It's about a ghost hip-hop star.
I'm sold.
I don't know if I wouldn't say I'm sold. I certainly am impressed with this premise. I'm certainly intrigued with the idea. I don't know if I necessarily think it will be good or if I'll even like it, even if it is good. But
they have immediately sold me on. I need to check out the first episode, if nothing else. Like that's just off that alone. It's like I need to see this.
Yes,
and that's not a bad start compared to some of the stuff we talk about.
So hopefully that gets the pilot and gets to air. It's only in development right now, so it's not a guarantee.
Yeah.
But interesting mix of shows from CW. Oh, this one feels a bit more CW. I could see this, being CW.
Up until you said it was a ghost, I was a bit okay. But then it was a ghost, so yeah, sure, CW.
I'll have a love triangle with 2 people who are alive.
Only one of them's alive. One of them's another ghost.
One's another ghost. Okay, sure. All right, let's go over to. What network is this? I always like to start with the network, but I don't seem to see it here, so I don't think it has one. Paramount TV is working with Jerry Bruckheimer to do a TV adaptation or a TV interpretation of American Gigolo, which was a movie that came out in 1988 starring Richard Gere, which I admit I actually hadn't heard of until I read this story. I told a complete lie. Do you know what it is? See, whenever I look for the network...
The network's buried in there, isn't it?
It's not only buried in there, but I always look for an acronym, because most of the networks are acronyms.
Yeah.
And this one isn't. It's at Showtime, this is in development for. Which makes sense, because if it's going to be a bit of gigolo, then you want something where you can be a bit more raunchy.
It helps.
It does help. But yeah, so it's a drama set in present day inspired by the iconic 1980 film that I've not heard of.
So iconic.
So iconic. I bet it might be to a certain group of people, but I'd never heard of it.
That is Ubisoft levels of iconic, that.
No, it's not, because at least this is old.
Old does not mean that it has to be iconic.
It does not. But Ubisoft iconic is it's brand new and it's iconic.
Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, iconic 1980 film that embodied the wish fulfillment glossy culture of Los Angeles. It didn't give me an actual plot, so I went to IMDb and I got the plot for the movie. So it might not be the exact same as this, but I figured it would be good to just get a sense of what it might be about. So the plot of the movie is a Los Angeles male escort who mostly caters to an older female clientele is accused of murder which he did not commit.
Sounds like it could be an interesting TV show, to be honest.
Yeah, I can see it. Now it's set present day, so maybe not quite, but I almost imagine it looking like The Nice Guys, like that 70s Hollywood LA kind of vibe.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So I think it's potential. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Could be good. Could be good. All right, let's jump over to everyone's favorite network, CBS. They're developing 2 new dramas from producer Anna Frickle. Anna Frick. What?
Are either of them either A, legal dramas, or B, cop shows?
Are we counting FBI as cop?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, one of them's a cop show.
Do it.
But yeah, so Anna Frick is the producer here. The first one here is also being produced by Ridley Scott, so maybe worth
he just produced Braindead.
Maybe worth paying attention. I don't know. It's called Patriots, and it follows an estranged brother and sister, an FBI agent, and a professor with former ties to Islamic extremism, who unexpectedly reunite to counter violent terrorism in the city of Boston.
I don't hate that.
Now, I would argue this actually sounds less like a cop show and more like a terrorist show, or like a...
It does. When you said, does FBI count? I assumed more than one FBI and a group of others. So yeah, it's probably not really a cop show.
Yeah, it sounds more like a manhunt kind of thing, with just those two.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Possibly undercover things going on. Maybe I didn't mention that, but it sounds like it could be.
It actually sounds somewhat interesting. No, I don't say it'd be good. But
glowing recommendation.
Aye, well, I know. As far as CBS goes.
All right. The other show is called Murder Room, and it's tells the story of a woman recruited by her mother into the what's a strange word? The VIDOC Society. It's VIDOCQ. Yeah, it's a word that ends with a Q, but with no U after it.
Let's spread the rules.
Yeah. The VIDOC Society, an international think tank of the world's best forensic experts dedicated to solving the unsolvable.
Nah.
Do you know what? I would be interested in this if they went proper, like, unique with it. Like, see if it was literally only, like, set at their base, where they try... It's almost like each episode's every episode's a bottle episode, right? And they get the evidence in, and they have to solve it in the room. Like, see if they had the balls to do something like that, where they had to get creative with telling that story every week, I would be more interested. But I feel like it'll probably cut away to the cops, like, chasing down things and...
See, this sounds like a more generic cop show than the other one did.
Yeah. It depends on the cases, I suppose. If it ends up... Because if it's like the world's best forensic experts, it makes it sound like the cases are going to be... It's not just your typical, there's been a murder. Find the murderer, you know? It sounds like big, high-profile things.
That, or it's just murders that stumped regular police.
Sure.
I don't know.
Possibly.
I'm just, lowering expectations.
My expectations for both of these are pretty low. They're both CBS.
Yeah. Pretty low.
But that's the news. Yeah, I didn't warn you. I usually tell you the last one's going to be before I say it, but I didn't. So
just sprung it on me.
It's a roller coaster ride of epic proportions. This has been but depending on your opinion, this has either been the best episode of news that we've ever done. It's been a roller coaster. There's been flubs, there's been words that I can't say, there's been posters falling down in the background, all sorts of shenanigans, or it could be, the worst one that we've ever done.
I don't think it'd be our worst. We've had some pretty shambolic things in the past.
Sadly, that's true. So, thank you very much for sticking through all of that nonsense and hearing about all these wacky new shows coming. Definitely the highlight for me is the Action Land comedy from the Parks and Rec guys. I think that's got the...
And obviously the biggest problem with this week's moves is the lack of Mermaid War show. Still.
What was that even called again? The Deep? Was it the Deep or was it the Reef? Or something like that?
Sounds about right. I don't care what it's called. It's a Mermaid War.
Mermaid War. It's on Freeform though. I feel like your expectations are...
It's never going to live up to my expectations.
It's never going to live up.
It's just not. But until they show me something, I'm going to pretend it is the best thing ever.
Alright, well, that's this week's news, guys. So, thank you very much for sticking around. Like and subscribe and all that stuff. Let us know what you think of any of these new shows, or any of the news even. Always curious to hear. But thank you very much. And as always, as we like to do at the end of the news, go check out all the TV we reviewed in the past week. There was things that happened, and they were interesting. There wasn't... Actually, there was some new shows. There was a couple of new comedies that we tried this week.
Yeah, we did.
People of Earth. Yeah, People of Earth we tried. Had a reasonable pilot.
Yeah, it was not awful.
Yeah, it was not bad. We also tried Stand Against Evil, which was similar, kind of missing the mark, but there was potential there for it to get better.
Yeah.
You know, so they're both kind of middle of the road, but I'd recommend checking them both out because they both seem like shows that might actually get good after some, foot finding.
Yeah, unlike some other stuff that we've covered.
You're talking about last week's The Great Indoors.
I am. That should just be, put to death. And not even a quick death. Hang it. Make it suffer. Like it did to me.
As far as other updates go, obviously Quarry finished its first season over the past week, so that's now done. A bunch of shows this coming week are taking the week off for the election. Most of the Tuesday night stuff is taking the week off, plus one or two other things. I think Timeless is taking the week off. But yeah, I think that's all the general updates worth.
And just the fact that we're halfway through Westworld. And I imagine if you're watching this, you probably watch Westworld because everyone's watching Westworld.
It's the most exciting show on right now, week to week.
Yeah, so, go and watch it if you're not.
Yeah. That sounds like a reasonable bit of advice. So that's everything, guys. Thanks very much for watching. We will see you next time. Keep watching TV and all that stuff. We're out.